Chapter 27. Nicole rubbed her eyes. The numbers on the page had started to blur 30 minutes ago, but she kept at it. There was no point in going home when she had things to do here. All that waited for her was an empty fridge and deafening silence. Anne had left hours ago, and Nicole frowned when she'd heard an insistent knock on the outer doors of the office. Careful not to be seen, she cautiously crept down the hall. When she peered around the corner, her stomach lurched. It was Brady. She stepped back before Brady saw her. Was something wrong? Gathering her composure, Nicole stepped toward the door. "What are you doing here?" Nicole asked, after unlocking and opening the door. Brady stepped inside and she locked it behind her. "I wanted to talk to you." Nicole stepped back and had a chance to get a good look at Brady. She was thinner and looked troubled. "Sit down." Nicole indicated the chairs in the lobby. "What is it? Is it Flick? One of the crew?" She would be the first one notified if there had been an accident. "No, I want to talk about you and me." Nicole straightened. "There is no you and me." Brady moved to the edge of her seat. "There was, and I want there to be again." "What?" "No. There is no us, and there won't be. What happened was a bad idea, and it won't happen again." "Why not?" "Why not?" Nicole repeated. She stood and started pacing back and forth in front of the reception desk. "Because I said so." That was a stupid answer, but the only one she could come up with right now. Brady's words had caught her completely off guard. "That's not a reason," Brady said calmly. "I don't care. It's the one you're getting." Nicole was rattled. It was hard enough just to see Brady again, but this conversation was almost too much. "You felt it too, Nicole. I know you did. We have something here, and don't tell me what I was feeling, Brady. I know what I was feeling, but I can't figure out what the fuck I was thinking." The shock on Brady's face almost broke her. She shook her head and waved her hand dismissively. "Just forget I said anything." "I don't think so," Brady said. "You opened that door, and now I've turned around, backed out, and closed it." She wished she'd never opened herself and let Brady in. Brady shook her head. "It doesn't work that way. You can't close a door already opened." "I have the key, and I'm doing it anyway," Nicole replied metaphorically. She wasn't going to let Brady talk her into continuing their relationship. "Coward." "What?" This time the spark in her was anger. "You heard me," Brady said quietly, her eyes never leaving hers. "You think I'm a coward?" "I could have used the word chicken, but it doesn't have the same impact." "You think I'm a coward?" Nicole couldn't help repeating the question. She'd stopped pacing and stood in front of Brady. "Yes, I do." "I see," she said, holding her rising anger in check. "And specifically, in what way do you think I'm a coward?" Every time Nicole used the word, her anger ticked up a notch. "That's not really what I meant," Brady said, obviously growing uncomfortable with the direction the conversation had taken. "Then what did you mean?" Nicole asked, sitting down and crossing her arms across her chest defensively. "Look, can we just go back about 4 minutes?" "No. I want you to tell me why you think I'm a coward." "It was a poor choice of words." "A poor choice of words?" Nicole mimicked her. "So what word would you use? What does your thesaurus have that might better define it?" Nicole leaned forward, her arms on her thighs, and didn't wait for Brady to answer. "Because let me tell you, Brady, I am not a coward. You have no idea what I've been through. I faced everything head on. I stepped into a man's world where there was no woman in front of me. You have no idea the bullshit I had to put up with, the words and innuendos, the leers from men in this industry who thought just because I was a woman they could treat me like shit, or their wives who thought I was the camp whore. I fought the biggest fires the world had ever seen. I walked right into prejudice, ridicule, and humiliation, and walked out with my head held high. Everything that has stood in my way I have faced and conquered. I am not a coward." She was surprised at her fury. "Aren't you, though?" Brady asked calmly. "Look at your life, Nicole. Other than your family, who's in your life that matters? How long are you going to hide behind your scars before you let someone in?" "You don't have any fucking idea what you're talking about," Nicole said through clenched teeth, standing again and walking away. "No, I don't, because you won't let me in. And that's exactly what I'm talking about." Brady's voice was close behind her as she walked down the hall to her office. What about the people who care about you? Care about you, the person, Nicole. What's inside you, not the outside wrapper. They don't care about your scars and what they look like, but they do care about how you've been hurt, what you have to deal with every day. They care about your joys. They care about your insecurities. They care about you. And they could care less about what you look like. And I'm one of those people, Nicole. Nicole tried to slam the door, but Brady stopped it. Get out. Brady didn't move. I don't know how many of those people you have in your life. I don't know how many of those people you let in, but I'm one of those people. And I'm standing right here on your doorstep, knocking on your door. It's up to you whether you let me in. And if you're as strong and as brave as you say you are, Brady hesitated for a moment before continuing, you'll open it. I said, get out. Nicole's voice quivered and held less conviction than the first time she said it. You know what the difference is between you and me, Nicole? Besides the fact that your body is perfect and mine is repulsive? Nicole shouted. Oh, for God's sake, Brady said, stepping farther into her office. All you see is that the possibility of being hurt again far exceeds any amount of joy and happiness you may find on the other side. Because the last time you opened the door, Gina was on the other side. And not everyone is Gina. I am not Gina, Nicole. You need to face the fact that I'm nothing like her. If you believe I'm worth the risk, you'll do it. But you won't. That's why I think you're a coward. Brady was within arm's length. It's up to you, Nicole. I won't like it if you don't let me in. I won't like it at all. But I will accept it and eventually come to terms that I wasn't worth it and move on. Brady started to turn to leave, but stepped even closer. Do you think you're the only person who has something on the line here? My entire life I've clawed and scratched and dug myself out of being thought of as trailer trash. My parents didn't give a shit about me. I had no friends. I was the subject of finger-pointing and ridicule growing up. I was teased every single day I went to school because I was on welfare, and the only clothes I had to wear came out of the church rummage box that my classmates donated. And don't you think they didn't have a field day with that? The girls looked down their noses at me. The boys thought just because I lived in a trailer, I'd spread my legs for them. And the more I ignored them, the more they pushed. Well, let me tell you something, Nicole. When you defended yourself, Brady pointed her finger at Nicole, you were a grown woman. I had to defend myself when I was 12 and 13 and 14 years old from boys and men who thought because of where I lived, they could have me. So you know what, Nicole? We both have scars that have deeply affected us. But it's what we do about those scars that make us who we are today. So yeah, I've got something at risk here too. Ever since I can remember, I had a plan to get out. And nothing or no one was going to get in my way. And nothing has. Brady stepped away, and it was her turn to pace. I have never compromised my principles or my goals to get where I want to be. Nothing was worth risking that. Nothing, Brady said, until I sat in your goddamn conference room with your clean coffee pot and your plush carpet, and you walked through the door. She pointed down the hall where the conference room was. That's when my plans started to fracture. That's when my scars started to heal, Brady said definitively. The difference between you and me, Nicole, is that my door is wide open and you are the only person I'll let in because you are worth it. That's why I think you're a coward. Nicole dropped into her chair. What the fuck had just happened? She felt like she'd been in the middle of a hurricane. Her hands were shaking, her heart racing, and she was having trouble breathing. She hadn't lost her temper like that in years, and never as bad as this. When Brady called her a coward, something inside her snapped. 6 years of pain, suffering, frustration, and being alone had pushed its way through the scars and to the surface. 6 years of covering her insecurities behind a mask of competence and indifference had worn thin. All Brady had to do was utter one word, and it had ripped open. She stood, her eyes darting around the room as if she could still see Brady in her office. "How dare you, Brady?" she shouted to the empty room. "How dare you come into my perfectly built life with your sexy smile, your pretty words, and your psychobabble? What the fuck do you know? You don't know anything about me." Nicole's voice rose as she continued. "How dare you make me hope for something? Make me want something I can't have. Open scars that no one can see. How dare you make me fall in love with you?" Nicole's voice broke as tears slid down her cheeks.